Welcome to Patriarchy.com, where we help you become a more virtuous leader for your family. I'm Will Knowland, and on this channel, Daily Patriarchy, I answer your questions in the comments every day in video form. Now, quick update on how the channel is doing. We are currently at 532 subscribers, 9 videos in. Thanks for your support. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this content with anybody else you think who might benefit from it. You can also check out my main channel here, Will Knowland at Be Her Leader, 18.1k subs at the moment for more long-form content to help you in your marriage. So on to today's questions. I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom and then we'll work our way back up to the top. So we've got Lady in the Lake says that sounds like these people married individuals with the notion that they could change or influence them to their own preferences. Don't get married or commit to someone if you are fundamentally different. Yeah, there's some wisdom in that because you have to be able to look at someone, warts and all, and accept their flaws. That's what it means when you're choosing a spouse, because people do change, but there are also some things about people that they're always going to struggle with. So yes, there's change, but within limits. So when you're picking someone, you want to think, do even their defects or their vices fit well with mine? Can we actually grow and suffer together well so we can help each other become saints? Because that's really what the vocation of marriage is about on a spiritual level. Now, shared interests don't actually matter that much. The research shows that shared interests aren't very important to making a marriage work. What's actually important is that you have compatible ways of expressing emotion and also affection as well. So incompatible values, that's a big problem. But shared interests doesn't really matter too much. Good comment. More people should think about that. You need to choose your spouse very carefully so that you have a successful marriage. All right. Next question. JJ says, thanks for answering his question from yesterday. You're welcome. Keep him coming. And we also have one here from Christian Council. The OP from the first post sounds like he's been on the Red Pill forum. This was the question I talked about yesterday from the guy who was upset that his wife wasn't doing pretty much all the housework. A Christian man or a good leader isn't being lazy. It's getting your hands dirty and leading by example. You hit it spot on with the child comment. Women don't want another child. They want a man. Do your own stuff. Be a man, and she'll want to help without you even having to ask. If you have to ask and get pushback, you're failing. Yeah, that's smart. And when we think about the fact that, like Aquinas says, everything in the household is ultimately the man's responsibility. This idea that the man just does his job and then comes home from work and that's it, that's not masculinity. That actually causes all kinds of marriage problems. So as the man, you should always be doing more. A kind of tit for tat attitude is actually really damaging in marriage. So you might be thinking, I have gone and brought in the money from work. Therefore, you should be doing something in return for me. Now, that tit for tat attitude, the evidence shows, is actually damaging. It leads to the spouses picking up more negative impressions of each other and eventually ends up harming the marriage. So my advice to anyone watching this is that as the man, as the leader, bare minimum, it should be tit for tat +1. You should be the one leading in that area too. That's one of the quickest ways to improve your connection with your wife and build a better bond between the two of you. Now we've got another question here from Omaha Mommy. She asks, and this is on a lot of women's minds, and it's an important question for men to think about too. Do you have any suggestions on ways for wives to cheerlead for their husbands as their husband is learning to lead? Do you know, I was thinking about this. I read your question earlier today, and I jotted down a few ideas based on all the guys that I've worked with, what kinds of things they would truly love to see from their wives. So I'm going to talk about this from the angle of what do men want from their wives to have successful marriages? If you're a guy listening to this, I imagine is what you want as an outcome. And if you're a woman listening to this and you want a better marriage, then here's basically how you can help the guy get the outcome he wants so that it's win-win for both of you. So here's what I came up with. I was thinking, he doesn't want you to be bringing up his old mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Learn from them, move on from them. So he wants you to forgive him. So he feels like he's got a chance of being able to build something strong now. When he does bring up his emotions and shows any kind of weakness or vulnerability, he doesn't want to be mocked or shamed for that, because that takes some strength. And to be able to walk the line between being the dependable, reliable provider and protector, but also realistically showing where you were struggling with, for many guys, the only person in the world that he can really talk to without a filter, his wife. Never shame him for that. Support him through it. Don't expect him to read your mind, right? No guy wants to have to be constantly guessing what it is that his wife needs for her to feel better. Instead, be clear with him. So no mind reading. Husbands don't want that. When he offers a way to help you, accept it. Don't dismiss everything he suggests that could help, because he'll feel frustrated and futile. At least try out some of his suggestions sometimes. He must be given ways to please you. Like, men are hardwired to want to please the women in their lives, and it makes them feel good when they can, makes them feel terrible when they can't. When he does a good job at something, show him some appreciation. All guys love to be appreciated. And it really helps when the expression of needs is ultra specific. So the way the male mind is, when there's a particular goal to go after, like hunt and kill the mammoth, that works well. Direction and specificity. When it just becomes vague and confusing, you can easily get frustrated and not really get much traction. So be very specific when communicating what you need. Guys love to hear that. Also, and this is controversial to say, but most of the time, rewarding him for things you want to see more of with more sex is going to be super effective, because that's really what most men are doing most of their activities for. Directly or indirectly, they're trying to impress you to get more sex. Reasonable expectations are also really important to have. We don't want this idea that you have a set of expectations that are just impossible for him to meet. Again, failure right from the start. So recognize that you might have some unreasonable expectations and try to discuss those with him. Get as close to them as you can, but there might be some areas which are just never going to get fulfilled. When you're having an argument, don't fixate too much on the specifics. Find out what the root problem is beneath the immediate pain. If you guys together can focus on that root problem and work at ways to uproot it and rectify it, that's going to be a really good use of his energy and attention. When you notice that he's really busy and you might be feeling neglected, it's important to weigh up his actions, right? Perhaps he's gone quiet, he's stressed with work. Weigh up the actions. The actions might be saying that he loves you because in his mind, he's working so hard to provide for you, to give you what you want. So he's going to feel really underappreciated if you think that the working hard is a sign he doesn't care, because to him, it shows that he does care. That's one of the biggest problems. When he's quiet, if you're frustrated, understand that his silence might just be that he's trying to avoid having an argument that he thinks could hurt your feelings. Not quite sure how to handle it, so he just goes quiet. The silence isn't really a weapon designed to hurt you. It's actually supposed to protect you. So don't get too angry about it. Instead, try to see where it might be coming from. He's trying to make you happy even when it seems like he's not, right? A lot of guys express this to me, that they think they've done X, Y, Z. Why isn't she happy? Because they were really trying their hardest, but for whatever reason, perhaps the needs weren't expressed specifically enough. They went about it the wrong way, but to have the effort itself just stamped on, or to be told it was intentionally hurtful, is really crushing for them. So try to see things from his perspective where you can. If he's not being effective, give him ways to be effective. I can't stress how important this is. Give the guy ways to be effective. Men want to feel they're being successful. They want to be told they're being successful. Most guys, they get a compliment from their wives. It means a lot to them. It might make their day. And especially if you compliment him about something in the bedroom during sex, he might be thinking about that for a long time afterwards. Use it sparingly, but use it well, and then it's a great reward. Above all, he needs to be able to win with you somehow. Give him a game plan for being able to win. When you are in a good mood, it's going to change the whole household. When a wife is in a good mood, to the husband, it just feels like the world is shining. And that's hardwired into guys. So there's a lot of power there that the wife has to be able to actually help improve the marriage. The husband by himself might just be focusing on the wrong things. The effort is there, but the execution needs a bit of guidance from the wife so that it actually translates into results better. Now, if you've enjoyed this content, you might like to check out our community here, coaching community with guys who are all interested in becoming better leaders in the marriages and supporting each other along the way. We're currently at 253 members. Aim is to get this to 300. So inside the group, we cover all kinds of useful things. You get support calls with me. We get courses on various aspects of growing as a man and as a leader. And really, the main strength of it is the conversations and the connections with the other guys inside the group. 24/7 support from people all taking growing as a leader very seriously. And it's amazing value from only $9 a month. So hope to see you on the inside. If you found anything in this video thought-provoking, drop your question into the comments and I'll get to it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support.